Welcome back to the Wolff Den. Happy Monday. I'm Matt Wolff, founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine. The Wolff Den is presented by Winnigan Academy. Great things going on with Mark Moyer. What are you doing?
Am I doing it right?
Great things going on with Mark Moyer. He's got an athlete job fair tomorrow. Check out winniganacademy.com. Welcome to the show. We got Adam Sporrer on today. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, and then we'll get into some stuff.
Sure. So my name, yes, is Adam Sporrer. Let's do my actual day job here. I work in advertising in Chicago, Illinois. Michigan and Whacker, ever heard of it? But in my spare time, I do a weekly podcast called the Sunday Punch podcast, which started off as a sports-only podcast, but I do it with my buddy Sean. He's a doctor, and he doesn't know much about sports. So we have then added politics and pop culture to the mix. So we do a little bit of everything, basically just to have fun. We started the podcast during the pandemic, so basically we wouldn't lose our mind.
But you've done very well. You have 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. You have some Patreon people following you, 500,000 views overall, or 50,000. One of those.
Well, actually, I think we just hit 600,000 today overall on YouTube. We get around 2,000 to 2,500 listens on all of the streaming, so Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever you may listen to, Podcast Addict. So get about 2,500 listens through those each episode. We're approaching 3,000 followers on Instagram, approaching 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. And then for the real hardcore cult status people, you can actually pay me money to I've already in my mind, I'm going to completely spend it on worthless activities and things. So if you give me money, you get to see kind of what I'll spend it on. And I like to post that on like the Instagram stories. Sometimes we'll have like parties in the park or something like that, and we'll buy all the drinks. And anywho, it's I can't believe that people actually watch. I thought it was just gonna be, my mom, obviously, one of my brothers. I was just hoping for one, and then maybe like 2 or 3 of my close friends. After we added that pop culture portion, that's when things took off. So basically, we started reacting to music videos, and those resonated with people on YouTube who really love those. And so that kind of introduced that audience to the rest of the podcast. So they're like, hey, I like this music video reaction. And we've seen our Spotify numbers go up from there. So people are just like, hey, these guys are kind of funny. I want to listen to other stuff that they talk about. So, we talk about sports and pop culture and politics, and people seem to like it. And approaching 100 5-star reviews on Apple too, Matt, which I expect one from you after this episode.
Well, you're supposed to give me a review for my show, and then when I go on your show, I give you a review for your show. I think that's.
No, I'm switching up the game, dude. I'm switching up the podcast game.
My show, my rules, I think, is how it works. But
I'll give you a 5-star review. Anyway, enough about me. What about you? How did you start the Wolff Den?
The thing about the Wolff Den is I don't even think there's anywhere in online that you can give a 5-star review, because it's not really a podcast. It just kind of goes live on YouTube and LinkedIn, and we'll push it to Instagram and Twitter and just see what happens. I couldn't tell you who watches it. I know somebody watches it because you ever hear of Tony's Littles or something like that? There's a Kornheiser fan podcast, and I got an email from someone asking me, can I print him a ticket? I'm like, oh, great. How'd you hear about us? And he goes, I heard you on a podcast.
Oh,
which podcast was it? He goes, Kornheiser's Littles. I'm like, I never heard of that. So I tuned into the episode, and someone who I never heard of in my life says, they were talking about mobile tickets and commemorative tickets. And this guy says, oh, there's a company that does that. They're called Ticket Time Machine.
Dude, see, it's already right there. Just paid. Like, that is what I actually really like about doing this stuff. Like, people like my brother, Justin, he asked one time, he's like, oh, so is the point to, get a lot of followers and then you can, monetize and sell advertising? I'm like, no. And he was like, well, what's the point? I'm like, just to do it. There is no other point. Like
I have a conversation with Brent because he'll be like, how is this person connected to Ticket Time Machine? I'm like, they're not. They got a great story. I want them
right. It's fun. It's fun to do.
Right. I don't care who you are. I have a network of people who've never heard of you. I mean, obviously,
exactly.
never heard of you, but I'm just saying. I'm talking about like I was at the Gator.
No, I get it.
Gator player, and he's like, "Well, we only, I only do podcasts if I get paid." And I'm like, "Well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't pay anyone to come my podcast. We've had big time people, and we're gonna have big time. We have some big time Florida Gators coming on in the next couple of weeks. But I'm like you. It takes an hour out of my day, a little bit to try and get the people to come on, and a little bit to try and send the link but not much. Brent doesn't.
I'll tell you what. So I've met a lot of new people who just hit us up on Instagram and are like, "Hey, that's funny, blah blah blah. You mind if I come on the show?" And like we had a former UFC fighter come on. We had a DJ come on. We're having actually. Hey, stay tuned for the next couple episodes here. We're going to have a girl messaged us. She's in the top. Well, I don't know anymore. This is going to be an interesting story, but she was in the top 5% of OnlyFans, and she's going to be on the Sunday Punch podcast. We're going to get to the bottom of the whole drama of OnlyFans because I'm interested.
Yeah, she had to retire when they said they're not going to. Is that the weakest policy you've ever heard in your life? Like, there's no nudity, but you can still do nudity as long as you're not. It was never porn. I mean, I guess.
Well, you explain it to me. Hey, Matt, you know me.
I don't know.
I don't mess with any of that kind of stuff. But you explain it to me.
I know I can't explain it.
Your wife's watching, right? Matt, you explain it to me.
Videos, right?
Oh no, I think I was on the tail end. I remember like going into my brother's room and he would have it on in the background and there would be music videos. And he was watching like the Beastie Boys, like yelling at, a fisheye lens with like bucket caps on. And I was like, even then at like 8 or whatever I was like, hey, these guys are pretty dope. But I was on the tail end. And I think right after that, like, they were like, wait a second, why don't we get a bunch of people in a house and film that? That's like when they did the Real World and everything like that. That's when it started going off. Where they're like, oh yeah, music, yeah.
But music's a big part of your life. It was, at least. We'll have to find out now. We'll talk about it. And did you know that they actually rent out the Real House as an Airbnb?
Really?
Yeah,
which one? There's been like, hey Matt, which one? There's been about 50 of them.
It's the one in the Keys. It's like a half hour, 40 minutes away from Key West.
I'd be into that. Going with a big group of people?
It sounds like a place you and your friends would probably enjoy.
Maybe a Gator tailgate, dude. I mean, it's nothing like Gainesville, which I'll be in Gainesville next weekend, by the way.
This weekend or for Tennessee?
Yeah, this weekend for Tennessee.
I was actually just in Gainesville for the Alabama game, so we'll talk about Gator. We got a lot to talk about.
You're talking about music though.
Yeah. We got some friends of the program. Brian Schulman's got a great shout out Saturday and What's Good Wednesday. And Jenny Gold, thanks for coming on. For those who don't know, Brent Meckler is a good friend of mine and happens to be Adam's brother-in-law. Adam's brother Justin is a friend of mine as well. We anticipate if he's not operating on brains that he'll maybe show up and support either one of us.
Hey, speaking of Brent and speaking of music, do you know Brent literally has said that he would give up music over like movies? Like, all right, you got to go the rest of your life without one thing, music or movies. And he chose music, which means, by the way, and then definitely shit on him, but which means that in the movies he's now watching, there's no soundtracks.
Well, I mean, the thing that I always used to say is, if I had to give up live events, sports or music, I'm probably giving up music, but I have to give up sports or music overall. I'm probably giving up sports and I'm keeping music.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't think I could ever give up music. I mean,
Right.
just like sports. Now I'm thinking of like just like working out,
Yeah. How
just
brutal.
like
I grew up,
regular life stuff.
it's brutal. Not in your car, everything. I mean, it's just
Well,
crazy.
Brent's just thinking about it. Like he's like, I never go to concerts. It's like, well, you're not thinking about it like
Yeah.
longer term than that.
Yeah.
He's just sitting in silence. He would rather sit in silence and watch a movie that had no soundtrack and no background. Like imagine watching an action movie with no like ding 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 ding. Ding. It's just like silence while a car goes fast.
Imagine Star Wars, right? And Indiana Jones without. I mean, that Superman,
Yeah.
Spider-Man. It's I don't know. Music is everything to me. It's sports is too. It'd be a real tough call. But you actually put out some music yourself. And I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
how
let's
you
get into
got
this.
us on
Yeah.
this back when you lived in Florida.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
tell us
yeah,
about that.
I'll talk about it, dude. I consider myself a top 5 rapper pretty much of all time. And it's on Spotify under Adam Jordan. I like rap music. I've always loved rap music. Oh wait, here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I've always liked rap music. I really enjoy making it. And so back in that time period, my ego is so insane. Like I literally like had a thought like maybe I can be like a professional rapper. Now that I've grown older, I'm like, okay, wait a second, that's never gonna happen. But I was talking to my buddy and he was like, hey man, like those were pretty good songs, blah blah. Like, why don't you make some more songs? I'm like, oh, because I'll never become famous off rap. And he's like, who cares? Just make the songs. So I'm actually making some more songs. I'm getting in the studio next week. It's going to be an album released on Halloween called Happy Thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, you were too early, right? And this might be the time to come right back in it. I think.
Right, because all of those successful rap stories about a 31-year-old white guy.
What? Well, here the thing is, like, and so Brent.
I mean, hey Matt, you could just list them for days and days. Just all of the success stories of 31-year-old white guy.
It only takes one. One of the things that is very similar about you and me is that we're very comfortable in our own skin, which is what it takes to get and put a rap song out. I mean, I can't do that because I don't do it, but even just to get on a podcast, to get on, to get up on stage, even if it's an open mic night, to do karaoke, whatever it is, you really have to be comfortable in your own skin. And right. I mean, that's something that you have, you've mastered that, which I think is a very tough thing to do. A lot of people struggle with that. And I was just listening to your other podcast when you talk about you going to Croatia and you're like, I got an invite and I'm like, am I ever going to get this invited again? No. All right, let me do it. It's like so many people can't get out of their own way to enjoy life. They try and come up with the excuses. And then it's just, these are like once in a lifetime opportunities.
I will say, just like not to like pat myself on the back too much. If you're gonna do that, right? If you're gonna just start accepting invitations, they don't all turn into amazing adventures. Like a good portion is like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. Like afterwards, you're like, oh, that was a bad idea. But I think the few moments that you get that are amazing, I think it's well worth all of the duds to just say yes. I've always said, just say yes to adventure, and then sometimes you'll have some good stories that pop up. And even in the bad stories, as you know, even in the horrendous stories, those are funny to tell later. So really, there's no losing.
There's some of the best stories I have are the ones that have gone bad. Nobody wants to hear about the stuff that's done good.
Yeah, right. They're like, my life's, yeah, right. Nobody wants to hear, oh, yeah, and then, we were having a great time and everything went well.
Yeah, we went home together and,
Now we're married.
Yeah. I actually used to think it's because I think you probably have this thought and maybe you've done it or whatever to write a book about my life. And I'm thinking, look, who really cares about my life? But we have stories. It doesn't even have to be like, it's not going to be a story of Matt Wolff. It's just going to be all these stories. Kind of reminds me of Tucker, Max, and the Drink Beer and Hell, which I think was a lot of bullshit anyway. but he did fairly well for it.
Right. Have you ever thought of the convert? Because what I like to do, and this is a side kind of passion of mine, I do love writing. So I have a side website called chicagodondraper.com. And what I like to do is just write my stories. So I wrote one about the Brazil trip, 19 pages. And then, but then I actually thought, wait a second, you know, because that's like, to your point, who wants to read about this, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever thought of like converting it into kind of like a fictional character, going like Catcher in the Rye with it and being like, hey, I have all of these different stories that I think I could weave into like one coherent story. And then before you know it, you're JD Salinger.
Yeah.
That's how that works, right?
There's actually a good movie coming out about JD Salinger. I forget what it's I saw the preview for it. I
am a nerd for JD Salinger. There's a great documentary, actually. I forget if it's on Netflix or Prime. It's all about JD Salinger writing that book, but then he was kind of a weird guy. He then would like use his fame, like he would like write letters to like aspiring like writers, you know, female writers, and like it was like bizarre because he lived out in the middle of nowhere. Right. So imagine trying to pick up a girl being like, hey, want to come to the middle of nowhere to a cabin that's like 500 miles in the woods? Like, so that's what he would do, like his life. But other than that, it was like, you know, he kind of went nuts after writing Catcher in the Rye and then like had nothing after that, but wrote all these different books that he then locked. And now his family is releasing them. It's like, you know, 25 years later.
That might be
because he hated the fame of Catcher in the Rye, so he kept writing, but he released nothing.
This is how the Wolff Den works. We something gets mentioned, and then I have something to show you that I didn't know we were going to talk about. So I'm actually going to go off camera for a second as we talk. We don't edit this. We kind of make up the rules as we go on this show because
Oh wait, you didn't get my notes before this about how I wanted to rant about JD Salinger and his ways of picking up women.
My favorite book ever.
Oh yeah, I tell people that all the time.
Holden Caulfield.
I tell people that all the time, and they're like, you'd be surprised how many people have never even like. It's not required reading anymore. So like, you'd be surprised. Some people have never even heard of the book.
They want to know if you're a wine guy. You're drinking wine?
Yeah, I do. I like. Let me go off camera. It seems to be a theme. Yeah. So, actually, here, let's take a look here. I'm gonna move this for a split second. I got a nice little wine rack here.
There you go.
But I'm taking a master class in wine, another pandemic activity.
Okay.
Where I was like, all right, I'm going to go insane here shortly. So what can I do to distract my mind? And so I saw one of those ads for the master class program. Okay. That's like a famous person, like teaching people, blah, blah, blah. And I saw one, James Suckling, had a great wine name, by the way. James Suckling has a master class on wine. So I've been watching that, which has now just turned into me buying wine and just kind of looking at it. Not really drinking it, just looking at it. But I have gotten into it. So let's read the label here, Matt. You ready for this?
Yeah, this is compelling television.
So this is called Mount Veeder Winery. It's a 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon. High in the hills of Mount Veeder, vineyards clinging to the rugged, steep slopes produce intense and exceptionally concentrated grapes. You see, at Mount Veeder Winery, we're proud of our reputation for producing outstanding Cabernet. Our goal is to fully express the unique characteristics of our mountain-grown fruit. Experience the magic as you enjoy our Cabernets, full-bodied, fruit-flavored blackberry, cherry, layered with distinctive cocoa, tobacco, and cedar notes. You know, I'm a skilled, I'm a skilled storyteller.
Justin wants to know about, I don't know if he's talking about my times at Market Street or your times at Market Street. I'm sure we both have stories. Mine, I probably can't tell on the air. And that goes back to the books. Like, I'm a married man now. So whatever I was going to be in my book, I can't put my name on it. It'd have to be from like some type of alias.
How'd you meet your wife, by the way?
Bumble. Met her on Bumble.
Did you?
Yeah.
So what was the how did you was it straightforward, or did you want to do one of those cutesy like lines where you're like I saw the photo of you with the puppy, like I love puppies too?
No, I think Bumble, basically the woman has to write first.
Right.
Yeah.
But the women, but Matt, come on. The women just say, because the women have never actually had to go and like pick up anyone or hit on anyone. So the women just say hi. So it's the same thing. Like,
yeah, it's like Love Potion number 9. You ever see that movie?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. You got to watch Love Potion number 9. And it's basically there's a potion that once you talk, the other person falls in love with you. So they experimented, and he goes to the bar. I think Sandra Bullock was in it. And the guy basically would just say like ridiculous things. He'd be like, Farfignugan. It doesn't matter what he said, because once he talked,
and then
they would be automatic. So it really almost doesn't matter.
So really, Love Potion number 9 already exists for women because you just say hi.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Do you remember your first date? Where'd you go?
Oh yeah, I always have a distinction between a first date and a meeting. We met for frozen yogurt.
Hi, meet at my WeWork.
No, not that. We met at for frozen yogurt, and that's what Brent wrote. I got her a pillow about it said it started with froyo, but we met it for frozen yogurt, and that was it. She was the only girl.
So that was the first meeting, or was that the first date?
I think that was the first meeting.
Okay, so when's the date? Let's get to the good stuff. Where'd you go out for drinks, dude?
I think we went to dinner in man, my memory's terrible.
Oh shit. I hope she's watching this right now. You know she has that written down.
I remember the frozen yogurt, but I believe that we went
but the second date didn't have any delicious treats.
I don't remember the name of the place, but it was this place. It's this restaurant in Boca. It's like back in the day, it was like famous for people doing coke in the bathrooms and stuff.
Oh, so naturally you're like, well, let's go on the second. No, we're done with our meeting, so let's go on the first date to this coke bathroom.
It was right after New Year's. I remember that because I remember New Year's Eve talking with my friend Ahmed and say I'm talking to this girl, and I'm gonna meet her, right after New Year's, and that was it. The only one I ever met off Bumble. I've met people off Tinder and other stuff, but that was the only one.
This is what I wanted to ask, and like we're completely ignoring Justin's question on the Market Street, but because you kind of were a similar guy to me, kind of just an all-star bachelor. But what I wanted to ask you is because, I'm getting to the age now where I'm going on dates, blah, blah, blah. And like, I like these girls, blah, blah, blah. But, when was it that you were like, oh, okay. Like, was it like, oh, you met her, at your Froyo meeting and we're like, oh, this one's cool. And then on the second date, you're like, she's still cool. She's the one. Or was it in your mind, you're like, all right, I'm looking for like someone compatible with me. Okay, she's compatible, blah, blah, blah. But it caught you off guard because you like still wanted to, be like, the lone wolf, if you will.
Well, timing is everything in life. It also is everything in dating too. I met her right after New Year's. And so, I traveled, we had some dates, took her out for Valentine's Day, and she kind of did the, are we exclusive thing? And that was very early for me, a month.
New Year's, January. Yeah.
Very early.
Although you are older at that point in time.
Yeah, so I'm older, but still I don't think for me it was the age. It was just more of, hey, I'm still getting to know you. And, it's just, I'm meeting other women. So to stop all that, I don't assume I'm exclusive with anyone until you have that conversation. But we had that conversation very early, and then you get to that point where you're like, look, I'm either going to be with her or I gotta say goodbye. And obviously, I really enjoyed spending time with her and thought she's worth taking that chance on, and the rest is history. But it's hard to do that because it's really hard to kind of to know if someone's going to be there. You just barely met them. mean, there's just so many things you don't know about someone as you think, I think I could be with her. And it's like, is it the end of the world to kind of give up seeing other people? No, but maybe that other person was the right one for you, and you just kind of let her out
So
of your life.
that's my main fear is like, so you pass up one because you still like the adventure, blah blah blah. But then like, are you gonna like age out? Like, are you gonna be like, oh no, I can no longer get with that type of girl? Oh, I guess
that's
I'm gonna.
all in your head and probably.
I guess I'm gonna have to settle for old Bobo.
there's no settling. It doesn't matter if you're 22 or 32 or 42. You can get whatever years you're looking for, I would think, as long as you're realistic about it. I mean, I have a friend who's in his 60s and he's like, I want to date women 20 years younger. I said, that's great, but do they want to date you? It doesn't matter. And it's nothing to do with him. He's a very nice guy. It's just,
are you a decrepit skeleton or not?
No. And then you get to me. I mean, we could talk about this at the point, like,
Oh yeah,
because my hair is not growing anymore back here. And so now I'm kind of just doing this thing where I'm like, all right, here's what I want to know from you, because this would be a big problem for you when it happens.
I love that I have now completely like spun this podcast to the point where your hair looks like Kramer.
Well, this is all I got right now, but I don't care. That's the thing. I don't care. And it's not about because I'm married already. It's just, I don't know. What am I going to do? I can't shave it. It will look terrible. Some people look fine with it, but what would you do?
Is that a thought you do actually have like quite often?
No,
like if you should shave your head?
No, I can't do it.
I think it kind of looks like you got a nice round head. Maybe you could do it. I don't know. Ask Brent. He made this decision 45 years ago.
Full disclaimer, I don't ask Brent advice on almost anything. It's probably the right way to go. Unless you're looking for
all right, here's a good transition. Market Street story. Justin, are you still tuning in? Anyways. 45 minutes.
I want to give Brent a plug. The only advice I take from Brent.
No, this is about Brent. This is about Brent.
He's a very good realtor. If you're looking for a realtor and you're in the South Florida area,
right,
call up the Mecklers. The Mecklers, right? Courtney and Bobby.
Sure,
and,
he is amazing at checking the boxes on the MLS. Yeah, hit him up. Anyways, here's a Market Street story. We're at Market Street, which is no longer there. Very sad to say.
It's there. It's just not longer Market Street.
Well, yeah. Anyway, it doesn't have the mystique of Market Street anymore. Right. And we're out, for a Gator game. Brent, I'm not sure if he was married at this time or not married or whatever. Anyway, it was a very serious relationship no matter what. So then, Brent's not trying to get with any girls at all, blah, blah. So then a girl actually comes up. Brent has a hat on, right? And I remember this girl comes up and she's trying to hit on Brent. And obviously Brent is like majorly good guy. So the way he gets her away from him is he's like, look, I don't want any drinks, blah, blah. She kept trying to push drinks. She was like, oh, but like, why not, blah, blah. She was still hitting on him. He's like, look, and he takes off his hat and he just shows her his bald head. And he's like, how about that? How about that? And that did the trick. That really did the trick. She was propelled away.
Brent has been around for most of my shenanigans, but definitely the Gainesville ones. I have a great Market Street story that I cannot tell on the air. It's a chapter I've written as part of a book. I'm happy to send it to you.
Yeah, say it. Send it to me.
I started the book. But the one story I can tell you about Gainesville is we were in the old Porpoise and in the club area, and this girl was like trying to hit on me or something. I don't know. All of a sudden she starts saying that she likes my teeth. And I'm
always like, Again, another thing, classic. Like,
but it doesn't matter.
A girl can say some random shit like, "Hey, you've got nice teeth," and like a guy would still be like, "Do I?"
The thing I did was, this is an implant, and at the time, the tooth was out, and I had a retainer with a tooth in there, so I took that out and showed her, my smile with the missing tooth right there. Brent, I don't remember if it deterred her or turned her on, turned her off. I don't remember exactly.
I don't want to meet the girl that turns on, man.
Then she was the one who said something about she was a cougar. I think she was like 30 years old. I'm like, I don't think you know what a cougar is. And even if you were 40, I don't think you would have been a cougar. But anyway, that's probably not a nice thing of us to say.
That was like when the term cougar just came out and people were still like not sure how to use it.
Yeah.
That was like when girls were like, am I a gerbil or a cougar? I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got some great stories. Do you talk about that on the podcast a lot? I mean,
I try not to. I try not to. I just don't want to. I don't want to blast anyone's day up. It's more of like stories I'll tell about myself that are either interesting to me or make me look like a complete fool. Like, everyone laugh at the clown.
Yeah. I mean, you're dating, so part of it is like this is a podcast. This is out there,
right?
You almost have to be careful on the things.
That is so. The thing about me is I'm very, very honest with every girl I date. I don't like say anything that I don't mean. I don't put any intentions out that. I don't want to. That makes me feel icky inside, so I don't want to like trick anyone. And so I'll tell them straight up, I have a podcast, blah, blah, blah. I'm probably going to talk about this like this weekend, blah, blah, blah. And I'll say my honest thoughts about it. And usually it's like just like funny observations, blah, blah, blah. Really, to be honest, no one has had any complaints. They all actually think it's kind of cool. They're like, they feel like, that's kind of cool. He does that on the side, It's like a little bit of like an ambitious side project.
But
I do tell them like I would never have done this if a pandemic didn't happen, but okay.
It's here and now you're doing it. You're not going to stop it anytime soon.
Oh no. I was telling my buddy Sean, who I do it with, I was like, dude, I'm going to have to die before this thing. Like I'm going to do this every weekend. No doubt about it, no matter where I am. So like, I remember I flew to Texas. I brought all the equipment with me. Like, he couldn't do it that weekend, so it's like, all right, well, I guess I gotta bring all clothes. Who needs clothes when I need to pack cameras?
Well, why do you need to pack a camera? I did the Wolff Den live in Iowa when I went to the Field of Dream games, and I just had it right on my phone.
I just like the 4K quality. It's something like me being in advertising. Like now I have like this thing where I can't have it not be like professionally edited and have 4K and blah blah blah. Matt, out of all my listeners, I bet you 99.9% of them don't give a shit. But my mom watches it on her TV. Okay, she needs that 4K definition.
Yeah, I mean, Brent keeps telling me about my hair, and like nobody gives a shit what my hair looks like on this. It's not in the long list of things that needs to be happening on the
right.
Week. My hair is like it doesn't matter.
Brent commenting on hair is an interesting.
No, I think he actually looks. The shaved head look is a good look for him. But
it is for sure.
It's
better than Costanza for sure.
Yeah. Now, probably a dumb question, but the Sunday Punch is only on Sunday.
No. So now that football season started, I'm waiting until all of the games are done. I was actually going to do one tonight, and then I remembered but this is going to be perfect. So what I'm going to do is, if there's a key Monday night matchup, I'll wait until after Monday night, but mostly I'll record it on Sunday night and then release it on Monday. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. I'm going to let my listeners know once I get into the rhythm. I haven't been in a football season yet.
If the Sunday Punch could pay your bills the way your day job does, would you prefer to do that full time?
No, I mean, my job's amazing. I think I have the best job in the world. I get to go be creative, get paid, have fun, hang out with friends. That being said, I mean, if I could do like it part-time and then I could do this, I just don't have enough time I would love to be pumping out like 3 episodes a week, but I don't really have any time to do that.
I'll tell you how you have time to do it. You do it the same.
I got to stop working out.
No, you can still work out also. Just do it live. Don't edit it. You could always edit it later.
Fuck, we'll do it live.
Yeah,
fuck it, we'll do it live.
I
guess that does make sense. Maybe I'll start using StreamYard.
Here, actually, this was my intro before I got my professional intro.
5, 4, 3. That's the motto, and that is it for us today. And we'll leave you with it. I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. fucking thing sucks. In 5, 4, 3.
Oh, dude, that's so. All right, so StreamYard seems like it's pretty cool. Like you can just like, this is what I need.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
I mean,
way too much time on your, and you could probably take whatever you do here and put it on Spotify and all that. But you're
right, I'm wasting a lot of time with the editing and shit.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm gonna give this a try on the next one.
We'll do a StreamYard call and I'll show you the ropes.
Yeah. You do that, and I'll show you how a mic works.
Yeah, show me how a mic works. No, that
all right, all right, let's get it. Hey, we've wasted enough time. You can go ahead and start talking about the Gators now.
No, I want to talk about with Sunday Punch. So you have sports, you have pop culture, you got politics. What is your strong suit? What if you had to just do one of them? What would it be, or what do you enjoy talking?
Well,
about?
Our strong suit is obviously the pop culture portion. That's what people respond to.
Yeah.
So as much as I would love to say, hey, our strong suit is sports, like as much as I would love that, the people have spoken, and people like the music video reactions. They like us talking about celebrities, blah, blah, blah. So I guess we would do that. And so like my friends all make fun of me for like releasing clips that get like 70 views about me in Croatia, like let's say. But to me, again, back to my first point of Justin saying, hey, is the point like get advertising dollars, blah, blah. No, the point is for me to talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. So I guess if you were to say, hey, what's your strong suit? What should you focus on? In marketing, that's what I would be recommending to people. Like, focus on your niche. But I'm not in this to like do anything other than talk to myself. So if I want to talk about me looking at stars in Croatia while some girl puts a crystal on my forehead, then I'm going to talk about that because I want to go back and like look at it like it's like a diary. I'm looking at it as like I'm capturing memory in capsules. So most people use, a diary. I'm using video to do that. So I'm going to keep doing whatever I want. Whatever comes to my mind is what I'm going to react to. If that's like me reacting to a Guap 4000 video, then I'm going to do that. If it's me talking about, a book I just read, Ace of Spades, then I'm going to do that. I just saw The Thing, the movie. So me and Sean talked about that. I'm going to talk about whatever I want. I'm not going to niche it at all. So to me, it's like I'm gathering all of these audiences and I'm introducing them to the full episode experience.
No, I think you guys, you listen to it and it's not any different than when I first met you when you were a young buck. It's like, this guy's a moron. Maybe this guy's a genius. He's pretty funny. He's kind of stupid. It's all of that. And that's fine.
Right.
That's what people want to hear. They don't, and it's something, and it could be different. And it could be like, not everyone wants to hear the same bullshit that's just everywhere. It's just the same stuff over and over again. Like,
right.
Yeah, celebrities, you see celebrities being interviewed or on it, and they just get asked the same question. And it's a 10-minute conversation, which you can't get into anything in 10 minutes. As you can see here, we're 40 minutes in, and we haven't talked about anything yet.
Wait, man, we talked about. I've learned some good stuff. Like, just take the chance when you meet the girl and she asks if you want to be exclusive. Whereas I would say, no, delete, move on. Maybe I should just take the chance next time, see where it goes.
Yeah, look. You and I were similar back in the day, and I never thought if you told me I was never going to get married, I would have said that makes sense. But you find someone that you just enjoy spending time with, like doing nothing with. And there was nothing more evident that than what happened with me and my wife, because we got married and the pandemic happened. We got married leap day last year. And literally the next 16 months was just me and her sitting in a house. And,
oh, man.
Tough, right? You think about who have you been with that you could have done that with? Probably no one.
Absolutely no one. Maybe Sean.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a good point. Even
maybe my buddies who I play NBA 2K with.
Even if it's your best bud,
definitely not a girl.
It's hard to do. So you'll find someone and you'll decide, I really like being with her, and I don't really care that I can't go out with someone else the next night, and that'll be that. Or maybe it won't happen. There's no shame, especially with all this shit that's out there and divorce and people who get married who shouldn't be, to just not get married. Maybe it's not in the cards.
Right. But I actually, I've read enough. So I really like studying the psychology of all of this. So I've read enough books to know how serious marriage is. Like, and I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, I'll get married. It's like, no, do you realize this is like a giant decision? It's like jumping off a cliff with like a parachute that you packed. It's like, that's how serious this shit is.
You listen to Bill Burr?
Well, not recently, but I do, I love Bill Burr. I've seen his stand up, and I used to listen to the Monday Morning Podcast, but not recently.
He's got some great bits on marriage, but marriage to me is like maybe the easiest thing to get into and the hardest thing to get out of. It's just like almost like you think about the people who stay in a job much longer than they should.
Right. I've never understood that either.
Yeah. No, we've all done it, I'm sure.
Not me.
No, good. I don't think you should do that. If you're unhappy in a job, friendship,
right,
where you live, any of that, there should be a way out.
I've always been a fan of the Don Draper style, just like leave and just like, oh no, where is it? California for 3 months. He just did it. I don't know. He's got 4 kids at home.
My brother's got 4 kids. Crazy. I don't know if you ever met my brother.
Oh, he's a twin? No, definitely not.
Never met. We don't.
Or I did, and I thought it was you.
We're not identical. Let's talk about the sports side of your stuff.
One point I want to make though. Okay, so you said you listen, you don't know, moron, genius, entertainer. Is he serious? So my mom will always, not to be, I'm like turning myself into like major mama's boy right now, which I am. Anyways, moving on. My mom will text me and be like, I can't believe you said this or that. I would say 50% of what I say is just because in my mind, I know there's like, it's like 2 routes, it's like choose your own adventure. I'm like, I could say this, but I bet if I said this, it'd be more controversial. Yeah. I'll always say the more controversial thing, not just on a podcast.
Take a hot take.
Oh, no. I'll always choose more controversial every time. So,
but do you believe in it or?
No, I don't believe in it at all. I just say it because I know it's going to make someone. Yeah, except I think he actually believes it.
Does he?
That's the problem. Yeah, he's such a psycho. He's probably already convinced himself of all of this.
Is there a worse fit for First Take than Tim Tebow against?
I didn't watch it. That show went off the rails for me a long time ago. But anyways, what I'm saying is, if you are watching and you're shocked at any point in time, just know it might be, the character that I like to paint.
I don't mind saying controversial things, but I'm really only going to say it if I believe in it. And I'll talk about this all the time. Like I can say whatever I want. I don't have to answer to anyone but myself.
Right.
Wolff Den. Now, my words have consequences, so I have to be careful what I say. But I always believe if I'm on the right side of history and, golden rule and the right thing, it's not going to be a problem. Do you have to curb what you say because you have a day job?
No, that's the good part is at this point in my career, I'm like at a level where, not to like sound like a complete douche right now, but I'm at a level that I have so much leverage. There's absolutely no way I could ever get fired. So at that point, it's like, I'm not going to say anything like heinous. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say like, 9/11 was an inside job. I'm not going to say that, but I will like,
if we're talking about, now we're just going to edit it out.
Yeah.
Adam says 9/11 was an inside job. Tune into the Wolff Den.
Hey, dude, you get a ton of views, but I'm not gonna say something like heinous, right? I'm just gonna like, if I think it's going to be a little controversial, I'll tend to go to the controversial route. I will say this on sports takes, I'm pretty 100%. I'm like, if I believe it, then this is it. Like, I don't want to be like, I'll tell you what, I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to win the championship this year. It's like, I'm not going to say something that's so stupid that I'm like, it's like, you're not believable anymore. But it's like, if I want to say Normani, right, is the hottest chick I've ever seen, and if you don't think she's the hottest chick, you're racist. I'll say that because I think that's like funny and like pushing the envelope. And I know that people will like comment on it.
I don't know if that's pushing the envelope. Give me a couple hot takes. Give me some.
Hey, first hot take. Normani is the hottest chick ever. And if you don't think that, you're racist.
Well, I don't think she's the hottest ever, but she's attractive.
Okay, well, who's the hottest ever, dude?
I have no idea. That's all. I mean, there are people who think Julia Roberts is ugly, and I don't know. Everyone
Who thinks Julia Roberts is ugly, Brent?
You're a little bit too young for that. But back in the day, there was a whole big thing where people find Julia Roberts attractive.
I just watched Pretty Woman. They put her in a movie called Pretty Woman. The title of the movie labeled her Pretty Woman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, give me some hot takes that you do believe in. Could be sports, pop culture, music. Give me something.
Dude, I can't let this Julia Roberts thing go. You did. I think you didn't think she was good looking. I think deep down you didn't think she was good looking.
I think she's attractive.
Okay. Anyways, hot takes
that you believe in: a sports, maybe a pop culture, music.
Number 1, the San Francisco 49ers will win the Super Bowl this year.
Not going to happen. Next one. They're not even.
Can I explain? May I explain? First of all, they're one of 3 2-0 teams right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Second of all, they do this thing where they have the ball 75% of the game.
Okay.
So you're looking at Patrick Mahomes, right? And you're like, oh, wow, blah, blah, blah. Patrick Mahomes can't do shit if the San Francisco 49ers have the ball 75% of the game. Okay, moving on. I like how you said, like, that's outrageous when they were just in the Super Bowl, literally, what, 2 years ago? Was that 2 or 3?
I think it was like 3 or 4. They're not even.
No, it's not 4. It's not 4.
I will put money. We'll put money on this that the Niners won't even win their division.
Okay, I'll take that.
The Rams are. The Rams would be my sleeper for the Super Bowl in the.
Matt Stafford's never won anything, dude. Okay.
He also never had the team he has now.
I don't know if it's a hot take. Chicago Bulls definitely make the playoffs and are probably a 6 seed.
Okay. How about music? Give me music, pop culture, politics.
Okay. Donald Trump definitely runs in the next election for sure. Definitely. 100%.
That would be great.
I'm not going to give you the winner. I don't want to divide the audience.
Yeah. He has no shot at winning.
But you think he's going to run?
I don't think he's going to run. I think he has a better chance of being in jail than running.
I think all he has to do is say, hey, guys, if you don't put me on the ticket, then I'm going to run as independent, and then you're definitely going to lose because I'm going to take at least 5% of the vote.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
So that's the leverage.
It's
all in art of the deal, Matt. It's all in art of the deal. All right, moving on. Pop culture hot take. Ugh. I think. Okay. I think the next big rapper that you will have heard of is a man named Guap Dad 4000.
Yeah, I never heard of him. You know who I like? You want
me to send you a link? Do you like rap music?
I love rap music. I'll take a link.
Okay.
I like. First of all, NF for me is. He's not necessarily rap. NF is great. Love NF.
Best.
Eminem to me also. I listen to him, and I'm like, I don't even know how the hell this guy raps so fast. And even if how do you remember that for the next time you do it? It's crazy how good he was or is.
I know. He is. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Hi, Nate. How's life? I don't know. All right. Little NFL line there. Little NF line there. By the way, fun fact about NF. Because I'm in Chicago, this is a huge deal. Chance the Rapper came out with his album the same time NF came out with his album. NF outsold him. And then Chance the Rapper was done forever.
I love it. I'm a big fan of NF. I think his stuff is great.
You want to go with? Hey, by the way, Matt, you want to go with a rapper that's not white, or like you? What's the next one on your list? Vanilla Ice?
No, the next one on my list is white too. It's Tom McDonald, and I hate his.
Tom McDonald's good.
I hate it what he says because I think he tries to be controversial just to be controversial, but I think he's very talented.
Everybody Hates Me is a
Yeah.
fantastic song.
Yeah.
Mac, if you like the white guys, Mac Miller.
Well,
He's dead, but I'm telling you, like, listen to his last album,
Yeah.
Circles. It's amazing.
I think they just released his stuff. Bo Burnham is great. I'm a big Bo Burnham fan. But we don't.
Well, he's not a rapper, so he's a comedian.
He's got some good raps.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be like, oh, who's the guy? Who's Donald Glover, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't like say about him like, oh, Donald Glover, fantastic actor. You'd be like, oh, he's a comedian and a rapper.
No, he's an actor.
No, he's not.
Donald
Name one
Glover
movie he's been in.
It shows he was an actor well before he was a musician. That's how his music actually became big. Is because
but what is he better at?
Oh, that's
rapping.
Opinion. I don't know. What's the difference between rap and hip hop? Because back in the day, it was such a blur, and I thought, I'm a much bigger fan of the old school stuff than I am today's stuff. You're probably not, judging by the people I hear you say you like. But I grew up on, Run DMC and Tribe Called Quest and Beastie Boys. And to me, that was more hip hop.
Well, now it's combined. I'm not sure. I think it is blurred lines. Cause like, if you go on Spotify and you go to the categories, it's rap, hip hop, like one block.
I just think you don't need to have, there doesn't need
but
to
there is a difference. There is a difference between rap and gangster rap.
Right.
See, maybe the difference is like hip hop is like it's completely talking out of my ass right now, but what you would say what you would say with like EDM and house, right, is that EDM has a higher beats per minute and house has a lower beats per minute. So that's what differentiates EDM from house. So maybe it's hip hop has a certain beats per minute and rap. Now, I will say this. Rap could be like Drake talking about going to the club and blah, blah, hitting on a chick. Gangster rap must involve guns / murder / selling drugs.
Right. Got
to be mentioned in one of the lyrics, and then it turns into a gangster rap song.
It's like country beer and music or whiskey or tequila or something like that.
Right, or country. Well, here's the same thing here, dude. Country and Western turned into country Western. So I think it's hip hop rap turned into hip hop rap as like a category. But I think they were separate and then they became one.
A lot of country is pop now. Country's become one of my favorite types of music. Actually, one of the ones that I don't like is EDM and house music, which is tremendous. I mean, it's really, it's huge. And I know you had the episode where you just talked about getting into it.
Well, EDM, I don't like EDM. I like house music. Yeah. Right. Someone just mentioned Culture. Also great. That's Migos. So I just wanted to say I saw it and and they're very good too.
Yeah. I just think it's, and I forget who I was talking about. Just it's music, right? We don't have to define it. We like it. Why do we need to define it?
Hey man, I'll be at the gym and sometimes I want to hear Culture by Migos. And then other times I'll be like, you know what? I'm in a classical music vibe today. And that's what I'll do. It's not like I'm not stuck or sometimes I'm like, I want to listen to old country, or new country like Thomas Rhett or something like that. So
I saw Thomas.
I don't really care who it is. Like I like all music.
I've seen Thomas Rhett a few times, but we just went. I happened to be in the pit here in West Palm for his show with Cole Swindell. Have you seen Thomas before?
I have not. I would love to.
It was the best country show I've ever been to. If I listed my top 20 favorite Thomas Rhett songs, he played 18 of them. It was unbelievable.
I would hope. I would hope that the top 20 Thomas Rhett songs would include 18 of your favorites.
Well, no, I mean they don't do that. They just these people.
I think you meant top 20 country songs. 18 would be Thomas Rhett.
No, the top 20 of his songs. He played 18 of them.
Oh, at the concert.
Yes.
I thought you were trying to say, of the top 20 Thomas Rhett songs.
No, when we
I like 18 of them.
No. when we have you on the Wolff Den, which is probably going to be next year, you're going to have to switch from wine to beer.
Oh, I can't do that, dude. I don't drink beer anymore.
Drink beer?
I'm sorry. I'll bring you a nice wine, though, dude.
Oh, you ever hear of 19?
No, it's not that. It's not that at all. Because I mean, you could drink a Peroni, a Miller Lite, any of those light beers, and it's gonna be the same calorie intake as a red wine.
You ever hear of 19 Crimes wine?
Yeah, it's a good one.
But we got. I don't.
You want a really good cheap wine? By the way, I guess it's not that cheap. It's called Decoy. It's like $28.
It's not a cheap wine. I was mentioning 19 Crimes wine because of the thing they have on the video.
That's great marketing. Yeah, you'd scan it, and then like the guys start like saying, "Hey, I'm in jail."
We introduced that,
and you're like,
time machine.
I enjoy this wine because the bottle spoke to me.
We have an AR video experience that's very similar to 19 Crimes wine. I know we're up against the end of this. Give me some of your Mount Rushmores. Give me a Mount Rushmore of sports, a Mount Rushmore of music, Mount Rushmore of pop culture. And,
actually, this is an interesting topic because I was just talking about this for music with someone.
It could be your four favorites, not who you think the best is.
Well, let me explain the scenario that I was just about to explain because I want to get your take on this. So, living or dead, and the conversation was one artist, not band, that you would want to see in concert. And I was like, I mean, it's clearly Michael Jackson. Clearly. Like clear as day to me. And everyone's like, oh, because, they're thinking of Michael Jackson. They're thinking like they got to hang out with Michael Jackson. And he's going to like start like, bringing around the kids or whatever. I meant like going to a concert and seeing someone. I was like, yeah, Michael Jackson, clear as day. And then I was like, well, then who would you pick? And like, as they thought about it, the only two that made sense to me, someone said Elvis. And I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Not sure. I would choose Michael Jackson. And then another person said Prince. And I was like, oh, you mean the guy that stole everything from Michael Jackson?
It would probably be Michael Jackson for me. I never got to see him. I never got to see Neil Diamond or Paul Simon. Those are two that I haven't seen that I would love to see.
Those would be good.
But I've pretty much seen, there's very few people on my list that I haven't seen that I would like to.
You've seen Lady Gaga then?
Lady Gaga? No, she's on the list too.
Okay.
I was supposed to see her, and I don't remember what happened.
What about Kanye?
I wouldn't want. I have no desire to see Kanye. I don't actually like his music. I don't like
Matt. If someone said, "Hey, I got a free Kanye ticket,"
yeah, give me a free Kanye. I saw Jay-Z with Beyonce. That was an unbelievable show. I would go see Kanye for free, but I wouldn't pay a whole lot of money to see him.
$150. Hey, I got this Kanye ticket. $150.
I'm not interested.
$120.
I'm telling you, $20 maybe. That's about it. All right, give me a sports Mount Rushmore. Your favorite sport the four greatest or your favorite sport of all time.
Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan. How's that one? How's that sound?
Not great. Give me three others.
Okay, Michael Jordan, steep decline, and then Tiger Woods.
Okay.
After that would be Tom Brady. And then I'm going to go with big surprise, Walter Payton.
So these are your favorite or who you think the best are?
Oh, the best. I was just going best. You want to go my favorites?
Yeah, tell me your favorites.
Okay. Randy Moss.
Okay.
Barry Sanders. Ray Lewis. Actually, I'm going to put him there already. It's like the jury's out. Well, the jury's not out, but it's like he's going to get injured. Lamar Jackson. I love the man. I love Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
He is the most exciting human being I've ever watched outside of Michael Vick, but I think he's already passed Vick, so I'm going to put him as my fourth favorite.
You think he's past Vick? I don't know. Vick, so it's hard to really.
Statistically, he is past Vick.
Yeah. It's hard to have a conversation about Vick because of what he did.
The dog thing.
Yeah. So I can do it because I could separate that stuff, but I can see people are just like F that guy and
I can see that too, but it's the same. argument with the Michael Jackson thing. It's like, oh, how could it's like I'm not hanging out with the guy.
I know
I'm watching him moonwalk, and then I'm leaving.
Yeah, I think I know they beat him last night, but I still would take Mahomes and Kansas City over the Ravens. But
yeah, I would too. But I mean, how great was that game? Did you watch it?
I didn't. Well, I was at the Lamar Jackson game week 1 when the Raiders came back and beat him in overtime.
Oh,
It was
okay.
an unbelievable game. It was the craziest ending I've ever seen.
You were like literally at the stadium?
Yeah, it was the craziest.
Oh,
ending.
how's that stadium?
It's the nicest stadium that. Oh no, that was so I was at the Rams game Sunday night, and then we went to the Raiders game Monday night. The Raiders stadium is very cookie cutter, very generic. The Rams stadium,
okay.
the nicest stadium. The Jumbotron is the best Jumbotron. It's like your Jordan. It's the Jordan of Jumbotrons, and for you,
Yeah.
I can't even tell you who the second best Jumbotron is. I don't even know.
It's got to be in Dallas, dude.
No, I hate that. I think that Jumbotron in Dallas is obnoxious.
Oh, really? So you've been there on the new stadium? Because that was on my bucket list. I was like, I just watched Hard Knocks, and I'm like, they did like this drone footage all the way through the Dallas stadium. I'm like, yeah, this place looks sweet. I'd love to go there.
I can tell you 20 different NFL stadiums you should go to before that one.
Well, I'd rather be there. I went to Lambeau, and I thought Lambeau sucked.
Really? Oh, I think Lambeau's great.
What do you mean? Oh, hey, here's a bleacher seat, and it's 4 degrees out. Isn't this an amazing experience?
I add the whole atmosphere. You're talking about the actual stadium. Lambeau is at. You're talking about the atmosphere when you're tailgating outside at someone's house where you could throw a.
Actually, that was dope. You're right. You're right.
But the stadium,
that was the best. That was the best part. Yeah.
The stadium itself is a big nothing. I agree with that.
Well, nothing beats the swamp.
Yeah. Well, let's say I know we're in overtime here for our sports thing.
I ain't got shit to do.
I was at the Swamp on Saturday, and it was a great atmosphere. We are the boys, and I won't back down. It was the best I've ever experienced of those two things. And obviously, we won't back down is new, but we are the boys. I've been to a lot of games, and I've never had that feeling of everyone singing and just a great atmosphere. Obviously, the game didn't end up the way we wanted it to, but I walked out of that game not as upset as I thought I would be. Like
I was stoked, dude. I was hyped.
Season's still in front of us. I think we're going to end up in Atlanta, and we'll see what happens.
And if AR-15 plays, we win the game.
Well, I hear that. Why? Is he playing defense? Was he playing defense?
No, he's not playing defense, but we score 2 more touchdowns if he's in the game. Do you realize how good this guy is?
I think
we literally have Cam Newton. We have him again.
Great, but I think Emory Jones, and I'm not telling you that Emory Jones is eventually going to start, but Emory Jones, what he did on Saturday, take away that interception, he orchestrated that, made throws, ran plays. I mean, I don't know that AR, if he's in there full time, would have done the same thing. I think he's going to be great. I just don't know. I think the defense lost.
Right. No, I just think I like the split. I like the 2 quarterback thing because AR does his own thing, right? And Emory knows the offense. So I like that. But there's some throws that Emory makes that I'm just like,
yeah, he does.
Like the one when he was at the 1 yard line. I know the drive then went for a touchdown. But like the throw that he made where it just skips off the ground, I'm like, how does that happen as a quarterback?
I agree. Well, we'll see what happens this weekend in the Swamp. It's
they're gonna kill him, dude. It's over. Like I was texting my friends. I was like, all right, look at this. We just played the best team of all time. We lost by.
Why is Alabama so great? They beat 2 nobody.
Oh, I don't know of the multitude of national championships.
Yeah, this team is very new. I think they're going to.
They have Nick Saban, dude. Anyways.
I don't think they're the number 1 team in the country. I think they're going to lose.
Well, why would you say that? We want them to win out now.
I don't care if they win or they don't. I don't care.
Then you need to start studying how college football works. We need them to win out now.
College football works. We win the rest of our games. We're in the champion. We're in the playoff. That's how.
Yeah, exactly. But we don't want we don't want Alabama's to like stumble and lose 3 games because then that loss makes it look bad.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but they're not going to lose 3 games. I have some good tailgates if you want. If you need a place to tailgate,
I do.
Yeah, I'll get you in. We went to the Spurrier's new place. new restaurant, and we went upstairs to Visors, which is a rooftop. Sporrer came out. It's a pretty cool atmosphere. Sporrer's there like every Thursday and Friday for the coaches show. But Gainesville, when's the last time you were in Gainesville? It's been a while.
I go every year except out of COVID, so I was there. Well, now it's 2 years ago. I was there for the same thing, Tennessee game. We usually go for the Tennessee game because we know we can smoke them, and it'll be fun. And this time it's at 7 p.m. Oh yeah.
I go to a road game every year, and the one road game I went to Tennessee was the one the one win they have against us in like the last 20 years. And we were killing them. I mean, we were absolutely destroying them. And then the second half, I don't know what the heck happened. All hell broke loose and they beat us. In Knoxville.
I don't remember ever losing to them.
Yeah, no, we lost to them in Knoxville 3-4 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how
I was drinking a lot. I was drinking a lot at the time.
I was at that game, and it was a brutal loss. But I didn't get to go to an away game this year. Last year was supposed to be Ole Miss, which is one of the only SEC stadiums I'm missing. COVID canceled that. I didn't get to go to that. Now if you look at the future schedule, like the next 7 or 8 years, we play some really good out-of-conference games, home and away. It's Notre Dame and Utah and Colorado and Arizona State and Texas. It's going to be a lot of fun. Good.
We get to prove how the SEC is completely dominant to all of those different conferences. Also, actually, you want to talk about agreements of playing loser teams. Have you heard of like how the negotiations fell through for the UCF UF game?
Well, I know they wanted a two for one, but they ended up the AD changed, and now they ended up essentially what they're saying is a 2-for-1, but it's not a 2-for-1.
I didn't hear the update. What is that?
Well, we played them in. Didn't we just? Oh, never mind. We have them scheduled, don't we?
The way I heard is the negotiations fell through because of that. Like the Gators said, we'll play you twice in the swamp.
Yeah.
And then we'll come to your tiny little Mickey Mouse stadium once.
Yeah.
And then UCF's like, well, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. We shouldn't have even given you the one time. We're Coca-Cola. You are Tab whatever. You're like some fizzy thing that someone made in their basement. Why in the world would the Coca-Cola brand give you equal fair share on anything? Yeah. You literally play with Mickey Mouse ears on your helmet the entire game.
What are you going to do in Gainesville? I'm a tradition guy. Do you have a food place? You still go to some of the bars?
No comments. No comments on that.
UCF doesn't deserve my attention. They're terrible. They're terrible.
I just like how you just like, all right, so where are you going to Balls 6 to 8?
Dude, the lines at Balls and Grog House it's insane.
Well, that is the plan, by the way. So I fly into Tampa on Friday. I'm staying with friends in Tampa. We're gonna drive really early up to Gainesville, then from Tampa on Saturday. Set up at a tailgate or wherever, and then we're gonna go to Balls and just kind of hop around. We really like the last time we went, there was a new bar, as you know, Swamp Cantina, they're gone. There's a new bar with a rooftop. I forget what it's called, but it's like right where like the grog like area is. And that place was a lot of fun last time, so we might go there again.
Aren't you talking about the old Porpoise, which is Social?
Social, yes, that's it.
That's the Porpoise.
Okay, well then we're going to the Porpoise.
Yeah, I mean that's the old Porpoise.
Yeah, I know. We're going to Market Street. We got a time machine. We got a time machine.
We go to the country. If the country 8 seconds, or now it's called Knockin' Boots. I think you would like it.
Wait for a tailgate?
No, to go out with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Although I tell you what, when I went as a sweaty man, they needed at that point in time, they didn't put on any AC. So by the end of the night, you were completely drenched and looked like a complete weirdo.
I was drenched on Friday. It was definitely warm in there.
I'm gonna have to wear a hat. My hair is not conducive to sweat.
My hair just kind of does.
I kind of look like Owen Wilson,
Yeah.
except not cool and perfectly coiffed. It's like weird and strange.
Is Owen Wilson the benchmark now? Wouldn't you rather look like Luke Wilson?
Hey, that's my. You know what? That's a great question. I usually ask ladies is if they would hook up with Owen Wilson. You'd be surprised. About 90% say yes. Something about him. They love him.
Well,
You would think because his nose looks like it was broken by Mike Tyson 40 times, but
it's because he's Owen Wilson. If you showed a
right,
picture,
he's funny. He's funny, and when you're funny, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, sometimes.
I wanted to get back to why do you think that AR-15 wouldn't have won the game for us?
I just don't know.
Why do you hate him?
No, I don't. This is the thing. When I talk about Emory Jones, thinking he's going to be good and deserves to start, has nothing to do with AR. I think AR should play, and he will, and he's going to be great. But Emory Jones is a very special talent. He just has to get rid of a couple bad plays. We probably win the game if he doesn't throw that interception, but we still should have won. The defense couldn't get off the field. He made some really good plays with his arm, made some really good plays with his feet. We got screwed by the refs a little bit, not making.
Oh my God!
Not making excuse for why we lost because we still should have won. You can't miss extra points, but I would be fine. I think they're both going to be good.
No excuse.
He just dominated the number one team in the country. He's not mediocre.
Hey, no excuse. I agree with that. You know, a loss is a loss. I'm not ever going to blame any, I'm a big fan of you play the game and however it turns out. But I will say the pass interference call was garbage, which resulted in a touchdown.
Oh, there was a horse collar that wasn't called. There was
a horse collar that was not called.
False start that wasn't called. And on that play, they called the bullshit pass interference.
Right. Nuts. Exactly. No, it was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. And that's why I think if AR-15 plays, we score one more touchdown and we win the game.
Yeah, well, we'll hopefully get it.
And now we'll beat the brakes off Tennessee. I don't really have any fear whatsoever of any team going forward, other than Georgia, maybe.
I think we should be in – I'll be in Jacksonville for the Georgia game. I think we should be in Atlanta and then see what happens. We don't know. We don't know. Give me a bucket list sporting event, a bucket list vacation for you that you haven't been to yet.
Well, okay, sporting event. Well, I'm gonna cross this off because I've already been in contact with my horse people. I'm going to the Kentucky Derby.
Really?
And that's the next one on the list. That's the one I want to do.
I'm working on it.
You've never been?
I've never been. It actually always falls right around my birthday.
Well, okay, so I'll give you a couple details here. The free drinks and food Friday, Saturday on the race day, $1,000 per ticket. Then you got to stay in an Airbnb about 30 minutes outside of town, and that's still expensive. It's like I'm trying to get a bunch of people to go. I think it's still going to be crazy, $400 a night per person or whatever.
We spend ridiculous amount of money on sporting events and hotels.
Yeah, I know. I mean, people are like, why do you want to do that? I'm like, because I want to watch a horse.
Yeah. No,
what other reason do I need?
I don't think anyone who's been to the Kentucky Derby has not had a good time.
Right, people are like, oh, why don't you get in the fucking muck with the rest of the riffraff? I'm like, because I don't want to be there.
Yeah,
I want to be in the suite level where I might have some shade.
Well, I'm working on some connections with that. I hope to be involved with the race through Ticket Time Machine, but I will eventually make it to Kentucky Derby. How about a bucket list travel that you haven't been to?
Yeah, so actually I was just talking about this because I was like, Croatia was so much fun that I was telling my friends, I'm like, should I just go back next year? Because that was so great. And Brazil, Matt, they love me in Brazil, sure. but I'm just like, maybe I just need to cross something else off. So I have
there's so many
Germany. I have Germany on the bucket list, on the top of the list.
Munich is one of my favorite trips I've been on, and I've been twice. But I agree with you. I think you got to I've been to Ireland, and I kind of didn't do it as good as I should have. and I'd love to go back, but there's so many other places that I haven't been. It's like it's very hard to choose to go back there. Like when I went back to Munich a second time, I had won a trip from work and I took my brother, but I wouldn't choose to go to Munich again because there's just so many other, unless there was some kind of event that I was trying to.
Right.
There's just so many good places to go to. Yeah. Well, look, we've
Well, what about you? Where do you want to go next?
Greece is up there. I've actually never been to Israel. I need to get to Israel at some point. Greece, and then like
don't they like pay for that for you or something?
If I was younger, they would. Too old. I don't qualify. I'm too old for that. I am actually trying to get involved with the Maccabi games.
Don't they? You know they.
Yeah, the Maccabi games, which is the Jewish Olympics, and hopefully I might.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Hey, let me jump in here. Bucket list sporting event, World Cup.
Yeah, that's for me. I'd rather be. I'd like to go to Olympics is higher than World Cup for me. I've been to
really.
Japan. I've been to Japan baseball. I've been to a soccer game in Europe.
Don't you want to go to Qatar and they're like, oh, that's where like 10 people died building this?
Yeah. No, I don't want to go to Qatar. Where is it after Qatar?
And I'm like, oh, I can see why they died because it's 4,000 degrees out here.
I think there's a chance that it won't even happen in Qatar, right?
Oh, the whole drama with that is they're trying to have the World Cup every 2 years now.
Don't do that.
No.
Why do people shit on tradition? Like there's things that just should never change, and that's one of them. There's no need to play the World Cup every 2 years.
I don't think they're shitting on tradition. I think like a bunch of people get in a room are like, how can we make more money?
That's shitting on tradition. Yeah.
It's like the NFL gets together, like, brilliant idea. Why don't we add another game?
It's like Facebook changing the look of the timeline. You're doing shit that nobody's asking for. Like, stop doing that.
What you don't realize is these people are getting paid, so something has to happen.
Yeah, I know. They got to do something, right? Otherwise,
wait a second. We could add another game. By the way, from being, and you probably know this as well, from being in conference rooms and board meetings, that probably took like 18 months.
Yeah.
Where it could have just been like, oh yeah, let's just add a game. All right, that's done.
Yeah. Why would you add one game? You got to add 2 games. It's like they're trying to talk about adding 12 teams for the college playoffs. Like you cannot give any team college football a bye. You can't do it.
Let's talk about that because I'm on the opposite side of that one. Everyone's like, yeah, why not? Because now we're in this stupid thing where everyone's getting in, and I hate small schools. No, I hate teams that don't deserve getting in. So I liked the old system of we choose 2. They're obviously better than you. Let's move forward. Because as soon as we added the 1, now it's like, well, why not 8? Well, why not 16? Well, why not 24?
Well,
hey, 24. Tulsa has a chance. No, they don't. They suck. They've always sucked. They're always going to suck. Why would we give Tulsa any recognition ever?
I think. The first thing is I think they need to have 8. I'd be fine with 16, but you can't put 12. You cannot give a college team a bye when it's just so subjective onto who's there's no rhyme or reason why someone's won.
Right. I agree.
In NFL, you win your division, you get a bye. You get the best record, you get a bye. It's unbalanced schedules. So you can't have 12. But I'm fine with 8. I think putting Notre Dame and all these teams that don't deserve it, they're not the 4 best teams. I don't think, and they're just
Notre Dame is never ever going to win a championship again.
Well, my hot take. Here's my hot take.
That's my hot take. Notre Dame, in human history, will never win a national championship again.
Already done it. From this point forward, in my lifetime, Notre Dame and Dallas will never be champions again.
Well, I disagree on the NFL because the NFL, anything can happen.
It's not going to happen.
All these new kids are not going to Notre Dame. They're never going to get the talent, and if they get there, you remember that when they played Alabama?
Oh, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch a second of that game.
Yeah, because you knew what was going to happen.
I hate both teams, but I was rooting for Notre Dame to lose. That's how much I hate Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame is garbage, dude. And they get this like, they're like, oh, Notre Dame gets this reputation because why? Because they made a movie called Rudy like 49 years ago.
Great movie.
Great movie, but it's like Notre Dame is never ever going to have the talent that an SEC team has. So why are we wasting our time with this?
Because they're the darlings. All right, you mentioned it. Give me your top 5 sports movies.
Oh, okay. Dude, I'm going opposite than what you're going to think here. Number 1, Any Given Sunday.
All right.
Just because it's so real. It's like, oh, these guys are like psychopaths and doing drugs and getting with hookers.
His speech is.
I was like, oh yeah, that's probably what they do.
Pacino's speech is one of the greatest speeches in movie history, I think.
Yeah, and the cinematography is amazing too. If you haven't seen it, go watch Any Given Sunday. I'll go. Then after that, they're all going to be football for me. Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Classic. Remember the Titans.
Yep.
Rudy.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'll go Field of Dreams on number 5.
Yeah, Field of Dreams is my number 1. Hoosiers is my number 2.
Hoosiers to me is like, yeah, no wonder you won.
Well, I don't know. Big fan of the Sandlot.
Hey, you have to clip that one out there, Matt.
No, I love Hoosiers. I think it's a great movie. There's so many. Of course, you were going to win, but there's not a lot of movies.
They're like, can you believe?
There's not a lot of. I mean, it wasn't like an unbelievable victory. The guy just made a game-winning shot. It wasn't like Remember the Titans, where like they had to get the ball back, and all of a sudden in football, and he fumbles, and then some crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, well, football is always a tough sport to bet on, Matt. You know why?
Why?
Because the ball's not round.
That's why
it bounces everywhere.
It's not supposed to bounce. That's different. If you're playing a ball, we actually bet. Here's a crazy story. We bet on the Raiders money line and the over in that Monday night game against the Ravens, and they were getting killed in the first half. And under, and so it goes into overtime, and then I still don't know what happened because we never saw the replay. We were there. He scores that touchdown. We're jumping up and down like we just won, and then 3 minutes later, after further review, and then it's the rest of it's. But listen to this: my friend lost the betting slip.
Oh, like he dropped it on the ground.
Oh, he had it when we left the stadium. He couldn't find it at the end of the night. I'm like,
I would say I'm disappointed, but like guys like that always happens to.
So anyway, we have to file a missing ticket report. You got to wait like 4 months to see if anyone goes to it. I'm like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but hey Matt, it's totally worth the $25 you would have won.
It was like $200, but it wasn't a ton of money. And then I bet when I was there, I bet a 5-game parlay, which I bet like $20 on. I won 3 out of the 5. Coastal Carolina didn't do great, and then Boise State lost when they.
Dude, you can't bet. Hey, by the way, I have another great guy that I met through the podcast is a gambling, and I'm not being facetious. This guy is a gambling expert. Like literally, he's a lawyer. He has like Excel spreadsheets set up. He actually runs a book here in Chicago. Dude, he's like never bet on football. He's like college basketball is where it's at, or he's like tennis, dude. He's like no one knows shit about like whatever open is happening in like Timbuktu. He's like you can get such crazy odds on tennis. It's insane.
Well, when the NHL first started doing expansion teams, I would bet on all the expansion teams. They were getting like 2.5 goals. I'm like, most of the time they'll lose by a goal. Maybe they'll lose by 2. Youngblood, very underrated movie. Hockey.
Youngblood? What's that? Is Keanu Reeves in that one?
Rob Lowe, hockey. Oh, it's one of the greatest hockey movies. You ever see Slapshot?
No, it's not.
It is.
Yeah, Slapshot's good. No one's ever heard of Youngblood, dude.
Everyone knows Youngblood. You got to watch it. It's
By the way, Goon, great hockey movie. Keep going. Yeah, Goon.
Mighty Ducks, still great. Love Mighty Ducks.
Right. My only question with Mighty Ducks was like, well, why didn't you do that play at the beginning?
Because then everyone would turn the movie off.
You see what I did there, Matt?
I see what you did there. All right, we're gonna let.
Hey, you know what? Another thing with no. We're at an hour and a half. Let's keep going. You know what another funny movie ending would have been? Because I just saw this movie. Candyman. You see Candyman?
I didn't see the new one.
Oh,
It just came
why
out.
is that?
I've been busy.
Right.
Been busy traveling.
All right, I'm just gonna say this one time. If you haven't seen Candyman, you're racist. Anyways, moving forward.
I've seen Candyman.
No, the new one. All right.
Well, how long do you have to see it before you're racist? Because it just came out.
Well, it came out like 4 weeks ago. Like, I mean, come on.
That's
Yeah,
recent.
the racist level goes. It's like
Some
exponential.
people won't see movies, and I'll catch it on Netflix or
Check it out. Ending of that movie. So I'm watching the movie. I'm like, and the whole premise is you say Candyman 5 times in a mirror, and then he comes and he kills you. That's the premise of the horror movie. I thought it would just be funny if, like, they're like, if you say Candyman 5 times in a mirror, you get killed by Candyman, and like the character is just like, okay, I'm not gonna do that, and then credits roll, and then just the credits roll.
Yeah,
and they have a cartoon cat bringing in the credits, like an old 80s comedy.
Well, you should probably write movies instead of rapping.
Hey, I want to get before you go. I want to get your best gambling win, because I got a good one. You want me to go first?
Gambling win was, my brother and I back in the day. There was a website where you could bet on futures. So you would bet on who's going to win the national championship, and if you win, you get tickets to the game. So my brother and I kept saying, "Well, let's bet Florida. Let's bet Florida." And it was kind of expensive. It wasn't that expensive, and then we're like, we waited and we bet a bunch of money on the Gators to win, and they won, and that's how we got to the national championship game down here. I don't gamble a lot. I like to put $20 on a parlay and see what happens.
Mine was last year when the Ravens played the Browns. Do you remember that firework show? No. Anyways, it came down to the end, and it was like 39 to 40 or whatever. Oh, here we go.
80-1 for Florida.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, but Brent bet $1, so he won $80. All right, so I had like a few $100s on this. The Ravens. I was like, Ravens versus Browns. Ravens always kill the Browns. I've been watching Baltimore football forever.
All right.
Again, it's a shootout. Ravens are favored by 2.5, I think. It comes down to the end. Ravens are up by 1, and I'm lost. I've lost the bet. And the Browns get the kickoff, and the guy takes it, throws it backwards, like they're trying to lateral it. They're trying to win the game, right? Throws it backwards. The guy then throws it backwards again into the end zone to Jarvis Landry, who then throws it to someone who takes off, but his heel is on the line. So it's a safety.
That's unbelievable.
And I won at the last second on -3 on a 2.5. And I was like, that is the best thing that's ever happened to me ever.
My friend, you see the end of the SMU game this week?
No.
My friend Rob just won a parlay. You gotta watch the ending. It was like a 30-yard last second touchdown pass that with no time left that ricocheted off someone. It was
that's brutal.
Good, yeah. Well, he won, so I guess that one was.
Oh, fun. Yeah. Oh, I thought you said he lost.
Look, we're going to continue this conversation when I come on the Sunday Punch, whenever you're ready. But we're going to let you go in the same way we let everyone go from the Wolff Den. You can pick one person to spend a day with. They can be anyone you want. They have to be alive. You can't be related to them. Who are you picking? What are you guys going to do? We're going to put a list together and try and make it happen. We've already done some outreach for some of our past guests, but who do you?
Oh, really?
Doing?
Anyone, like celebrities too? You're gonna do some outreach?
Anyone, to be anyone.
Okay, Kate Upton, because you never know.
Kate Upton, because you never know. Okay, well, would you enjoy the day with Kate Upton if for some reason she doesn't find you?
Send this video to her. She'll definitely say yes.
Probably. Would you enjoy?
No, I would enjoy because I want to ask her about Justin Verlander and what life's like.
Okay, Kate Upton. There you go. She's
Because
you never know.
you never know.
Am I telling her that, or that's just? I mean, she knows.
All right, you want something real?
Yeah.
Because I want you to actually reach out. You want something real?
Yeah.
All right. I would like to hang out with, I'm trying to think of like maybe how this could happen. I would like to hang out with Roquan Smith, who's the middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Because he's amazing. He's in Chicago, and he went to Georgia, so we could talk a little Florida-Georgia smack, you know? We could have some good times. We could go out to like a local bar or something. Roquan Smith is who I'd like to meet realistically.
There you go.
And as a backup, Kate Upton, because you never know.
Because you never know.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna actually. I'll be in Jacksonville for the Gator game. We're actually gonna have Danny Werfel on the Wolff Den next week.
Really?
He's got a golf outing called the Desire Cup that pits Florida football against Georgia football. Ticket Time Machine is going to be involved with that event, but we're going to have Danny on next week. I think it's next Tuesday. So
dope.
We got Patrick Young coming on in October.
Oh, nice. Yeah, dude.
Listen,
we don't fuck
around.
Look at you. I got like off the radar UFC fighters. Like you got like actual like Danny Werfel owns Gainesville, dude.
Yeah, I had I won't name any names, but there was a football player from the Gators who was at I saw at the tailgate on Saturday and played in the NFL. And I was like, hey, we're connected on LinkedIn or something. And I said,
process of elimination is probably not Aaron Hernandez.
It's not in. No, he played defense. Anyway, I said, hey, I got a company. I got a podcast. Oh, I don't do podcasts unless you pay me. I'm like,
oh, this is the guy. Oh, full circle, by the way.
I'm like, I don't pay people to come on my podcast. Like, I just,
right.
You want to come on and talk about what you're working on? I can help you promote. We'll have a great conversation. You can tell your story, give a platform. Because again, no matter who you are, I got people in my network who've never heard of you, and these are high-level CEOs and executives.
Exactly.
All of that. So, good.
Well, I'll tell you what. If anybody's watching this, our main audience, and these are through all of our analytics that we definitely track, and I'm not being sarcastic. We track our analytics pretty seriously. If anyone needs to get connected to the 14 to 18-year-old audience, that's 57% of our audience. So really I'm just saying, 18? You want the young kids, you come on the Sunday Punch podcast.
What are you guys talking about? Fortnite and
No, I don't know why they like us. I don't know. It's just like consistently 14 to 18-year-olds, dude.
That's pretty cool. I
guess. I guess if you're R. Kelly.
We were just watching the trial on TV. I mean, I don't want to watch this trial. The guy.
Oh, really? It's on TV?
Yeah, on Court TV.
Oh,
he's guilty. Lock him up.
Hey, did he stand up and say, "Y'all killing me with this shit"?
No, I didn't. I don't even think he's on.
That's a good documentary too, by the way. If you ever want to like really feel sick to your stomach, R. Kelly on Netflix, the Surviving R. Kelly documentary.
No thanks.
No. That's a good way to end it.
Yeah, it's a good way. Let's talk about. You want to talk about OJ, Hernandez, anyone else?
Well, OJ drafted. I like how OJ has just become like this, like kind of like folk hero, even though he murdered his wife. Yeah. Anyways, he drafted DeAndre Swift in fantasy, and now there's a rumor on Twitter that DeAndre Swift murdered someone. So it's like, well, yeah, kind of makes sense.
OJ's got some really funny material, and the comments against him on Twitter are just. I mean, the internet's always.
Hey, by the way. I do follow OJ Simpson on Twitter.
It's great. The internet is always undefeated. It's just unbelievable. You could just for hours spend just laughing at the stupidity and the brilliance and the creativity and.
I've always said the funniest stand-up comics are on Twitter.
Yeah, and also
you've just never heard of them.
Yeah, also the best doctors and scientists and.
Right.
Experts. They're all
I always tell people Twitter's where I get all my news.
Yeah, I only get.
And they're like, "Oh, no wonder you don't know anything."
You've done. Listen, in all seriousness, you've done very well for yourself, career-wise. With the podcast, it's impressive what you've done so far, and looking forward to seeing what comes of it. Whatever it is,
dude,
it's a win. Whatever it is, but who knows?
That's true. I mean, I thought I'd be dead by now. To be perfectly honest, I thought I'd be dead by now. Yeah. How about you? You thought you'd be dead?
I didn't think I'd be dead. No.
Oh God, the ego on you.
I hope to live at least another 6 or 7 years.
Oh, hey, hypothetical question to go off air. Sure. They tell you, hey, Matt, you can go back and be that age again and go to UF for 4 years. You restart college at that age and your life continues as is. You know everything you know now. So you can make gambling bets and everything. That being said, we will delete 10 years off your life at the end. Would you do it?
Oh, yeah.
Me too, dude. I have told
How is that even a question?
I don't understand it, but I literally have asked that.
What am I going to do in the last 10 years of my life?
I have asked that to 50 people in Chicago, at least, and every one of them says no.
What am I going to do in the last 10 years of my life that's going to be?
That's what I say. That's what I say.
I would do.
That's what I say. They're like, well, what if you only live till 70? I'm like, well, fuck it.
There's nothing good happens.
Oh, I'm sorry you died at 60 now.
Yeah.
Like,
well, look, I
mean, in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna live till like 95. So it's like, what do I care for? Like,
in all seriousness, but like, we both lost parents, so
yeah, that's true.
You're young, but still, I mean, I'd like to live a really great life up until whenever that's going to be. Then whatever is going to happen in the last 10 years. But here's the other question for you. If you could go back to any age, what would you do? And you could change, not knowing, like, you can't do Back to the Future gambling shit, but you could have the knowledge that you have now and kind of apply it. What age would you go
All right,
back
so
to?
In your scenario, all sports knowledge is deleted. I don't know what's going on.
You don't know what's going to happen, but you do know knowledge.
And then I just live on from there?
Yeah, you turn, yeah.
Hey, I don't know. What would you go with?
I'd probably go like 15, start high school.
I don't know. Like, I really liked grade school, but like, I'm almost thinking like, no, I would just start college again because like I had some really gross acne in high school. Hey, dude, I don't want to go through those 2 years again.
No, but you can fix that. And with all this,
I don't know. Like, what if I fuck up? What if I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll get on, I forget what that drug is.
Physically, you're you now. Let's say physically you're you now.
No acne. No acne.
No, forget the acne.
I can't forget the acne because those are 2 rough years, Matt. All right, no acne. I can go back. I'm obviously going back to like 4th grade, dude.
Are you? To me, what am I gonna do in 4th grade? But
play football and do nothing for forever.
Yeah, I don't know. All that
until you get up to high school, you have no anything to worry about. You're literally playing basketball and football every day.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do. I'd love to be. I'd be
like high school. You got the cliques. You got like your responsibilities. You got maybe like football practice.
Yeah, but you'd be.
I mean, high school was dope, but to me, college was 1,000 times better than high school.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you still would be probably the biggest DMO.
Well, then why wouldn't you? Hey, Matt, why wouldn't you just go back to like 1st grade? You're like, oh, I get to relive my entire life again.
Yeah, but I don't know. What am I? Again, I don't know how great my life is in 1st grade.
You know why you wouldn't? Because you would have the mind in your scenario of well, in my case, a 31-year-old.
Yeah.
You'd be in 1st grade and you're like, what the hell, man? These people are idiots.
Yeah, I'm like that now.
Whereas high school, it's like, oh, I still kind of think like this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. He says your pecs are sublime. We're gonna let off on that with Brent giving a compliment on your.
My pecs are sublime. Thank you, Brent. I'm surprised Brent made it this far.
No,
I mean, it's 8:40 p.m. In my life, it's 9:40 p.m. in his life.
He's got nothing better to do. He's probably got the game on. He's actually he's probably the best supporter as far as being on my show.
Right.
Doing
Brent, do you watch Sunday Punch, dude? What's up? I don't get any comments from Brent on Sunday Punch.
It's not live though, is it?
No, but like there's the YouTube videos you could comment underneath. You could say, hey, dude, your pecs look sublime and let it be existing forever.
If you're not on Facebook, he's not tuning in.
Love it. Well, I post all the videos on Facebook. He could like click the link and then I'm assuming he has a YouTube account. He could say, hey, I also think Normani is super hot. Don't tell my wife.
He doesn't know who that is. Seriously, he doesn't know who that is.
Well, because he's racist.
Well, those are not mutually exclusive, but he still doesn't know who that is.
I like just telling people they're racist with no evidence whatsoever other than that they have not heard of Normani.
There's a 50-50 shot you're right anyway.
Is that it, dude? Is 50% of America racist? That's wild.
Gotta be. I don't know. But Brent's still mad at you for back in the day when we got you a basketball ticket and you didn't show up.
That never happened.
It happened. Brent can remember.
Never happened.
Refresh my memory, but
no. The only thing I feel bad about is when I was in college, Jeremy bet me that LeBron would make it farther or something in the playoffs than Kobe, or maybe it was just one game, and I bet him like $50, and then I just like never paid him. That's what I feel bad about.
Yeah, no, he was definitely. You were supposed to come to a game, and we got you a ticket, or we're getting you a ticket, and I don't know, you probably went to party somewhere.
I don't know. I was drinking a lot at the time.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to blame that on.
Unlike
now.
Unlike now, is wine your favorite drink? Is that your go-to?
Unless I go out and then I feel like kind of like weird ordering like a white wine. When I'm out, I don't order red because my teeth and everything, you know. And I want a nice lady to come up to me and say, "Hey, you have nice teeth." But I'll order an old fashioned instead.
We had Screwball peanut butter whiskey at my wedding. That's my new go-to.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
You're welcome. Your brother was there, if it's any consolation.
Yeah.
He had a great time. We can tell you all about it.
I'm good enough for a podcast. Not good enough for a wedding, though. I get it. It's fine. I thought we shared some good times. Apparently, I was wrong.
Yeah, we'll party at the Kentucky Derby together.
I'll tell you what. I'll invite you to my wedding just to make you feel really bad.
It wouldn't make me feel bad at all. It just means that you've come on the show, we've bonded now, and now we've forged a relationship.
Right. We didn't bond back in Gainesville. Remember, we were hitting on chicks together. Remember?
Believe me, we were out at night one night, and downtown.
Well, here's the story. Justin, if you're still on at 9:43, here's the story. So me and my buddy Travis were hitting on chicks at one of the bars.
Okay.
There was two of them.
Right.
So me and my buddy Travis, they were like 24, right? You at the time were what? 34?
I don't know. I'm about probably 10
Anyhow, they were like, hey, come back home. You were the odd man out, dude. As a 31-year-old, if I was hanging out with two younger guys, I would be like, oh, I'm the odd man out. But you kept walking to their car, and then they said, we only have 4 seats.
Well, that I get, but I remember being like outside your apartment and not being able. I didn't know where the hell I was. I don't even remember what was going on at the time. Brent wants.
All I'm saying is, I invited you to my apartment to have some fun times. We did. You were older at the time, and then suddenly you get married, and I just don't get an invite.
I invited you to my bachelor party. You didn't show up.
Did you really? No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I mean, maybe Justin forgot to tell you, but
no, you didn't invite me to your bachelor party. I would have remembered that.
We had a great time.
Where'd you go?
Key West.
No, I would have remembered that for sure. You didn't invite me.
I'm going to Key West on October 9th. You're invited.
Yeah, you getting the Real World house or what?
We got a hotel, and we're going to hit up Duval and my favorite city in America, Key West.
Okay, there you go.
Key West,
that's. Go ahead.
Nashville 2. I mean, it's hard to say Gainesville. I love Gainesville, but let's just take that out of the equation.
That's nostalgia.
Austin 3.
Oh, I've never been.
Yeah, I recommend it.
I'm going to go with Chicago, 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 Chicago. It's the best city on earth. If you haven't been here, it's amazing.
I've been to Chicago. My brother's bachelor party was in Chicago.
And you don't like Chicago. What did you come in, like, middle of February? That's the only reason you wouldn't have liked it.
I like Chicago. We went to a Bears. It was sports weekend. We went to Cubs game. We went to Northwestern and then Bears. We were walking to the game, and I see Mia Hamm walking with like a bunch of people, and then like this lady falls behind. I'm like, hey, is that Mia Hamm? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, you don't know. You were just walking with her. Of course you know. And it was a rhetorical question because I knew it was Mia Hamm.
You know,
I was there to say. So we got caught out like
I wish she said, I don't know. I'm just friends with No More Garcia Parra.
Yeah. But no, we caught her up at a light and got a picture with her. So I know we had a great time in Chicago. I'll tell you, I feel like I might have a Chicago story in my book. I don't know if I wrote it, but
I like how this went from, hey, have you ever thought about writing a book? Like, I've kind of thought about it too. Yes, I have a book, and there's like 50 chapters already written.
No, I have like 2 chapters written, but we were at my brother's bachelor party, and we were hanging out with a bachelorette group, and this was a long time ago, like, oh God, this is like 17 years ago. And I ended up going back to this girl's hotel, but the problem was all of her friends were there. And then when I got up to the room,
classic,
they wouldn't let me in. And then I got stuck in the stairwell, and I kept calling. I'm like, hey, are you gonna let me in?
Oh,
and then they had a bouncer or security guy come up and open the door where I was at. It's like,
no, dude, I got stuck in a Miami hotel one time, and it was like one of those buildings where they locked you in the stairwell, and I could not contact anyone. Like, I had no service, so I had to walk down 40 flights of stairs. And if you've never done that before, like, your legs are blasted by the time you get down.
I was lucky enough I had a phone, and the security guard, I think the door opened, and he's like, women. I think
women, right?
So that was my Chicago. I like Chicago. Are you ever going to leave Chicago?
You know, never ever say never ever, but I think it's the best city on earth. I've been pretty much everywhere, so I don't want to leave ever. So I actually had a job offer in Miami, which I went in. You want to hear a good story, dude?
Sure.
It's an hour and 48 minutes in. No one's listening anymore. I think I can tell this story.
All right.
So I got a job offer in the middle of the pandemic. My old ad agency boss hit me up and was like, hey, there's a marketing manager position at a yacht charter company. So basically, like, I mean, you get what it is. Anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm not sure what's going to happen because the pandemic was happening. So I was like, I don't know what's going on in advertising, blah, blah, blah. So I interviewed like 4 times. They offered me the position. They offered a lot of money. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm going to take the job. I was literally going to move back to Miami. This is right when my 2 roommates left. So I was about to sign a new lease. And so in my mind, I was like, well, it's perfect timing. I went into my job with that in my mind. Like, I am leaving Chicago for Miami at this point in time. I went in and I said, look, here's the offer. I have to leave. I don't want to leave. I love working here. You've been a mentor. But as you can see, I don't know what's going to go on with this pandemic. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I only interviewed because of I was frightened. Mm-hmm. So, see ya. Basically, like, see ya. They said, well, wait a second. Give us the day. Right. They came back the next day with an amazing offer. And so I was like, okay, I'm staying because I love Chicago. I love my company. That's where I'm going to stay. What I didn't tell anyone was when the pandemic started, because I was like, why am I staying in cold ass Chicago? I flew back and I had been meeting up with my ex-girlfriend. Her name's Dana. She owns a horse farm out in Wellington. And I had been hanging out with her. I had already dated her for a while. And I was like, okay, I like her a lot. What I didn't tell people was once I came back, that was like 2 months of me just like hanging out there.
Mhm.
When I came back and I did all of this decision making, in my mind, I was like, when I'm going in with this Miami offer, I was like, they're never going to match it or exceed it or anything. I'm going to go back to Florida, buy a ring, and I'm going to propose to Dana, like literally fly in and just drive to her place. Not even tell my mom that like I like got a new job or anything. Go to her place, propose, and then that was going to be it. So when I got the new offer, I chose the road less traveled.
Yeah.
And I'm now still in Chicago. And I don't think that decision would have ever, like, I don't think I can replicate that decision ever again.
Yeah, but
like,
why?
It was so serious to me. Like, I was like, this is the rest of my life. I'm going to do this. And then I never expected to get the offer that I got. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm staying. But
if
my
you were gonna do that,
my life could have gone in a complete. My point is, in my mind, my life was going to go on a completely different direction.
oh, there's so many different things that happen in our life that just change. Like I didn't go away to school right out of high school. My parents made me go to a community college for a year. I got into Arizona, which I would have loved to go, and I got into a bunch of schools. I might never have come to Florida. Think about how different my life would have been.
Right.
If I went to like Arizona instead of Florida. I probably would have graduated. Instead of moving to Florida, I would have moved back home and then moved out to Arizona or stayed in Arizona. But why can't you make it work with this girl who you would have basically wanted to do just because you're in Chicago, if that's how strong you felt about it?
Because of her job. She literally owns a horse farm.
Okay.
So her entire, I don't know if you've ever met someone in that business, like your entire life is horses, like literally 24/7 a day, 7 days a week. That's what you do. So she can't move here. I've already asked her like a million times. And she's asked me, I can't move there. So there's no way to make this work other than, oh, we're going to be long distance forever. Like, it's like, no, it's never going to happen.
The ad place in Florida.
Because it just won't work. We like literally like it has to be in person. You can't work remotely. You need to have that collaboration. You need to go to the client offices. You need to travel. You need to do all of that thing. You can't do that anymore. At my place, at other places, you could.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's good.
Well, I'm gonna go jump out of a building now.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to get that offer. To someone to show that they want you there. It's just, I mean, it's a good feeling.
No, yeah, and I actually like. I don't want to like make this into like the Notebook. Like, oh, what could have been. Oh, am I gonna be by her bedside saying no? Remember me? Yeah. I actually, like many things in life, I just think, well, that's how it turned out, and this is how my life is, and it's awesome right now. So I don't have any regrets whatsoever.
Yeah, life is good. I posted something on LinkedIn or everything about not living with regrets. I've never lived that way. I've tried to not, and now people wait too long and they wait for something big to happen for them to try and live that way. But and you talked about this same way. Look, you have an option. Can I do it? Is it going to be fun? Why am I not going to spend $1,000 to go see this horse race? I'm going to have $1,000. You're going to have more money than you know what to do with when you're gone.
Right.
And what for what?
Right. I mean, as long as you like, I don't want to like be that guy. Cause like, Matt, my audience is 14 to 18 years old.
Tell them.
You should once you have your index fund set up, you got your investments, you're putting into it every month, you're obviously going to be, with compound interest, rich when you're 60. Once you have that going, and then you're like, you have a good job, it's like, don't just save money to just save it and like have this giant hoard of coins that you sit on like some dragon somewhere.
Yeah.
Just like, look, I got my savings. I got my emergency fund if I get fired. I have my index fund for, or 401k, whatever you got. Now, with the rest, let's have some fun. Like, I don't need to like, what's the difference between 10 million and 15 million at the end, right? When you're 60, who gives a fuck? Like, I would rather go have fun at the horse race in a suit with some hot chick with a giant hat now than be 60 and be like, I got $5 more million now.
Yeah. Wow. It sounds like a terrible analogy, but I understand what you're saying. It's like,
is this guy a moron, a genius,
about,
or an entertainer?
About like $500 or $1,000. In the grand scheme of things, those aren't big purchases. Those aren't.
To us though, Matt. Like if you're making like 50 grand a year, it's like, yeah, like you should probably not spend that, and you should probably put that in the index fund or whatever.
Well,
but like once you get to a certain point,
I was going on these things when I was making $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year.
Right.
I just wasn't.
Well, yeah, once a year though. Once a year.
Yeah. Well, I was doing more.
Yeah.
Probably. It's just about. I'm just saying, life can be short. Let's
Right. You could die tomorrow. Right. You could wait. You could not wake up. Right.
Yeah, time is something you can't get back. You can't get more of if you want money. You're young. Your earning potential should be there. I think we can't go through life just trying to worry about what's going to happen when I'm 65. God forbid, God willing, we make it to 65. But
well, I'm not, because I'm going to make a deal with the devil to go back to UF for 4 straight years.
You can still do it. It's called grad school.
Dude, you know what the funny thing is? Yeah, you know what the funny thing is? Last time we were there, me and my buddy Sean looked at each other like halfway through like our experience, and we're like, dude, should we like buy a place here?
Oh, we're gonna have a place. I was
like, because the nostalgia, and you can speak to this, the nostalgia hits you hard when you go back to Gainesville. Oh. You're like, oh, this place is great.
Yeah.
I don't know why Christy and Justin ever moved away.
Oh, well, we know why. We know why, but it was probably a tough choice for him. But we're gonna buy a house.
Gainesville's 1,000 times better than where he currently is. I hope he's still on here.
Had a better, I don't know.
No.
A better life than
No.
It's no. I'm not a fan of Miami, so I'm not going to disagree with you there. But my friends and I, we're going to buy a place in Gainesville, 4-bedroom, and just like whenever you want to go, you go, and that's it. It's not going to be.
Dude, I'm in on the investment. Let me know. I'm down.
My friend Rusty just bought. He just bought 9 acres and built a house on it. The place is incredible. I mean, Gainesville, it's still a pretty good value real estate wise, although it's still it's not cheap. I mean, my first place I was paying like $300 a month to live in, and I had my own.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's called the Eagle's Nest, dude. It was dope. I would go back there in a second.
We had a house past the mall. It was a 4-bedroom. I had my own mother-in-law suite, and it was fun times. I love Gainesville. Have a great time. I'm going to send you some people that might be worth you connecting with while you're there. And
send me that, and I'll send you Guap Dad 4,000 songs.
I'll take a look at Guap Dad. I'll send you the chapter of my book for you to read.
Yes.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you might vomit. All the emotions you want out of it.
You'll get physically angry.
Yeah, you'll have some questions.
You come away with more questions than answers. You're
definitely gonna come away with more questions.
That's the title of the book: More Questions Than Answers.
The title of the chapter is not even for $1 million. That's the title.
All right, you want to go out on a? I like how I keep saying this. By the way, we've been saying you want to go out for like since hour 20. You want to go out on a joke, dude?
Sure.
You got one?
I'm not a joke. I'm funny without jokes.
All right, I got a joke for you.
Give me a joke.
Did you know that all of the planets were named after gods
Yes.
except for Earth, which was named after all that stuff on the ground.
That's not a good joke. You got anything else? Is that where we're going?
Well, you've heard that moth joke, right?
Probably not.
All right. So a moth goes to a podiatrist. Have you heard this one?
No.
You haven't heard this one? Oh, this is the joke to go out on then. Okay. A moth goes to a podiatrist. And the podiatrist asks, "What's wrong?" And the moth says, "I don't know where to start, doctor. I wake up every morning. I go to this job. My boss, he doesn't respect me. He thinks I'm inferior to him. He hasn't given me a raise in 3 years, and just the way he talks to me, it makes me feel really badly about myself. And I go home after work, and I wake up next to this old woman who I'm not attracted to anymore, Doc. This is a woman I fell in love with years ago, and now I can't stand the sight of her." And our son, Gregorius, he looks at me and he sees the coward that I am. I don't stick up for myself, and he doesn't respect me, and I can tell that he hates his own father. And I'm going to be honest, Doc, every time I look out of the window, I just want to dive out head first and kill myself. And the podiatrist says to the moth, he says, "Whoa, you're fucked up, dude. But you should go to a psychiatrist. Why'd you come to me? I'm a podiatrist." And the moth says, "Well, the lights were on."
That's better than the other one. All right. Adam Sporrer, SundayPunchSports.com. Be a VIP Patreon subscriber, Twitter. Check out the podcast. We're gonna be. I'm gonna join whenever.
Hey,
is allotted.
Shout out. Hey, just to pour one out. Both of those jokes were from Norm Macdonald. He was a legend, and R.I.P.
I love Norm. I posted. He has a bit called "The Best Disease," which is maybe my favorite Norm bit.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it hit hard. It hit me hard. 61 years old. You hadn't seen him a lot. He just feels so young, and that's just another reason why you just enjoy life while we can.
Absolutely.
So check out everything he's doing. Sunday Punch Spot podcast. We'll have you on again. I'm looking forward to being on yours, and hopefully see you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everyone. Tune in tomorrow. We got another great episode. It's not going to last 2 hours, though.
Hey, just a quick 2 hours.
And now you can chop this up and edit and send it to me.
Absolutely.
All right. See ya.